This is a video on how to create reports for testimonials to provide to different organizations upon request. Sometimes when Joy is meeting with a contact with an organization and they're either negotiating a new contract for the upcoming year or we're working with a new organization that we may have had consultations with in the past just individually, they can sometimes request a testimonial report of any kind of feedback that we have received from the consultations. This is something that we track in Vtiger. And let me just show you how this is being tracked to start. So in our contacts record, anytime that we have a new consultation, if the consultee has left some kind of a testimonial, with one of the guides, they'll include that in their info on notes to me, and then I use the testimonials tag in order to tag those contacts. So in a previous video, we reviewed how to look at different views in any record or in any module in this left-hand side filter window. So just as a quick refresher here, I had gone to contacts in my contacts module. Initially, we were just looking at all contacts, and then I selected the little caret here in the left-hand filter screen, scrolled all the way down to shared tags. So these should be tags that you're able to access as well. And then I clicked on the testimonials tag, and that populated this list here, which is every person who's left us a testimonial, and I've tagged with a testimonial tag. So if we click on Blake Townsend, for example, what the guide will do is somewhere down, and it might be hard to see on this record since he is an older consultee, but the guide will leave a comment with any of the new call details that they've had when they've connected with a contact. And since Blake has met with us many times, this is just a follow-up note, but sometime in his interactions with us, he had left this "I appreciate you" in quotes. John will call these out, or any of the guides will call these out by putting quotation marks around whatever is the testimonial that the consultee has left. And so because Blake Townsend gave us a testimonial, I used this tag here called testimonials to add him to the testimonial list. Now in this view, we're just looking at every contact record in the contact module that has that testimonial tag, but this could be anybody with any organization over any period of time. So if we want to create a report with the testimonials, right now we're looking at all reports. You can see that by choosing the drop-down menu here, and this is the all reports folder. I often find because there are a number of different reports and they're stored in different locations depending on their needs, I often find it easiest to search for some part of the report name in the search bar on the left here. So here we see, I know that testimonial is in the report name, and so if we type testimonial here, we get two different reports that show. This first report here, there's some extra clues in the description: do not edit, used for dashboard report. So this isn't the report that we're looking for. This one has a frequency of time that it is kind of pulling the report and putting it into a dashboard that we're using for a different purpose. So the second one, if we hover on the second report name, it's the top org testimonial report, and we'll open that report up. And because we've already used this report in the past, it's just pulling whatever the last organization data that we were retrieving is here. Whenever you open a report, it's kind of taking you to the final product space. So you see whatever sort of a chart or pie chart has been generated, if there is one. And then at the very bottom here is all the related report data. In this instance, it's pulling a first name, a title, and a description, but all of these columns can be changed depending on the type of report that you're generating. In this instance, because it's something that we may share with a recruiter, we're really only looking to gather a first name, a title to sort of link who that person is, and then because this description area has more of their loan information included, we're attempting to hold a little bit of anonymity, at least upon first glance, since some financial data is here. But then at the bottom, we can see again this quotation mark calling out the different testimonials that consultees have provided us with in the lower half of this report here. So if you were going to create some kind of a testimonial report for a new organization, the easiest way to review what information is being pulled into this report and what fields you need is to just hit this edit pencil on the right hand side. It's the middle square button. And if we click on the edit pencil, technically we don't want to change anything about the details here, since that's what we're seeing when we first are looking for the report records in the report module. But if you do want to review what information is being pulled into the report and what filters we're using to get at that data, using the edit pencil and going to the edit report space is the easiest way to just kind of review what information is coming in. So here, much like the bottom screen that we saw on the last page, we see the first name column, the title field, and the description area are what are being pulled into the report. Over here, if we needed to add any additional information, if there was for some reason a specific contact that requested the consultation date or some other data that is in the contact record, you could drag and drop those rows over here. And then on the filter space, this is where we're actually pulling in the contact data to get at the testimonial report. And so for this one, we're just looking for anybody who had a full consultation that was completed, so that we know that they've actually worked with us and that this is checked as enabled. And then for the tag, since we're using the testimonial tag to track any of our testimonial people, we just want to be sure that the tag is containing testimonials. And then this last field here would be the one that you change. It's the organization name field. And so if Joy is looking for a certain report for an organization, you would change this field here. Right now we're seeing information for Lehigh Valley. And so for an example, if Joy wanted us to pull information for Sanford Health as another organization that we work with, one really important thing to note is that the name typed here is case sensitive, and it also needs to be exactly as it is entered into the organization record in Vtiger. So if for some reason there's any kind of a typo here, or you're using a shorthand version of the organization name, you'll notice that the report won't pull the proper information for you. So I typically, as just a good standard practice, I will go over to the organization module, make sure I'm looking at all organizations, again using this drop-down field for different filters on the left-hand screen side here, and then I'll type in, you can already see Sanford Health there, but I would type in Sanford, and that way I can be sure that I'm getting the exact correct naming to pull into the report. And so now we can see that those match. And if we click Save and Run, now instead this report could be possible in this instance that we don't have any testimonials with Sanford. So let's try a different example, just to be sure that's working. So if we try LifePoint Health, which is one of our newest contracts, and again, we're double checking that the name is spelled the same, and here's a good example because the P in LifePoint is capitalized as well, even though it's one word. And so just to test what that would look like, if we don't capitalize the P, maybe it might not be as case sensitive, so just ensuring that we're using the exact organization name as it's written. And in this case, we have one testimonial with LifePoint. Just to review that again, we'll go back to the organization record. Freeman Health System is another one of our contracts, and so if we were, working with them, we could pull the testimonials for Freeman Health System by doing the same thing in this report filter space under the organization name, changing out the record name there to Freeman Health System, save and generate the report. Now you can see there's no testimonials available for them. Health partners. Again, changing the organization name here. All we're really trying to do is get at the specific testimonial data for whatever organization that we're gathering. And now we have 4 testimonials with health partners. And again, here we're seeing their consultation date, that they had their consultation, and then in the lower space here, some further details based on the fields that we're pulling into the report. If for some reason you or Joy needed to have this externally, you can export reports. To do that, you would use this first square button in the upper right-hand corner. It looks a little bit like a hard drive with an arrow pointing out. And if we select that, you either have the option to export a CSV file, or you also have the export Excel file option as well. Regardless of which one you choose, for me, I have my system just automatically download a CSV. I think for an Excel, it does the same. On your system, if you haven't set that up already in your window browser, it may populate a window that asks you where you would prefer to save your documents. I find it easier to just have some kind of an auto-save destination set up, like your downloads are on your desktop area for those. It'll name the report just the same name as the top org testimonial report title here, and then it includes the date and the time. So if you were pulling multiple reports, you have a bit of a way to kind of track which report you were pulling at a certain time. I find it easy or helpful to open these and be sure that I change some piece of the report title to also include that this would be a testimonial part for health partners, and then resave the file. So here I've changed the file name to just include health partners, so I'm not forgetting that that's who the testimonial report was for if I'm not working with this document right away. And that should be the basics of how to pull a testimonial report for a top org or any organization requesting testimonials that we would have with our full consultations.